All right, today we're talking about the new Derya DY9. This is their new Island Barrel from the Caribbean. A little spicy, little port.
It's not from the Caribbean, man.
Well, they're based out of Jacksonville. Is that close enough?
Just saying. I don't think that's how Island Barrels work. All right.
Hey, Kurt.
Yeah.
Are you an island boy?
That's not how any of this works.
Why not?
That's not, no.
I'm an island boy.
No, stop it. Stop it. Leave in the comments. No, it is. That's a cool design, though. You can see there, Island Barrel with the porting. All right, let's see how she shoots. All right, this is one of their mags. All right. Oh. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's nice. That's really nice. So, here's what I'll say. What I feel like the Island Barrel's doing, that's a little bit different than a comped or just a straight ported gun. A lot of times you're gonna get different recoil impulse. A lot of times a comped gun and or ported, it doesn't necessarily, sometimes it reduces recoil, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times what it'll do, it's just getting you back on target faster. This, it really takes out all the snappiness. You kind of get that sort of like 45 kind of push. You don't get the snap. So that's different. I'm digging that. Let's do this again. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. So, it comes with fiber optic sights.
Fiber optic back rear.
Yeah, fiber optic rear. It's got this little bitty short front to account for the Island Barrel. There, you happy?
Yes.
God. All right. Look, and it's got green. If it just had red, then it would totally be Jamaican me crazy.
You know what green is, though?
What?
It makes me want to waste away again. And
God, stop it! This is they're not even. That's not even close, man.
What? It's Island.
They're not a Jamaican company. They're not a Caribbean company.
The Jacksonville Caribbean.
I don't think either one of them will claim that. All right. Anyway, so it is. I do like how low the optic does sit. That's nice. The sights it comes with are obviously not going to co-witness.
Can we talk about that optic real quick?
Sure.
So it's on there.
It is on there.
It's tight.
Yeah, it was really tight. I don't know, honestly. I don't know if it's the Gideon or if it's the Derya. It was tight. However, when we cranked it down, it did suck in. And I'd rather have it this way than too loose.
Listen, it looks
that's what she said.
It looks good. It looks good.
All right, let's go. Dude, this thing is... I like it. I like it a lot.
So, Kurt.
Yeah.
Island Barrels. In the past.
Here's what I'm gonna say. And this thing, by the way, look at that. It looks really sharp. This thing looks awesome. It looks really cool.
Here's my only question.
Back here?
Yes.
Yeah, we saw it in photos and we're like, do they have lightning cuts in the back? That makes no sense. They don't. It's just for looks, which is good because I really don't want to introduce...
I mean, technically, they are lightning cuts.
Yes, they are, but they're not all the way through. Yeah. And if they were, I would have questions because I don't want to introduce dirt and stuff in there, right? So that's fine.
It's a damn good looking pistol.
It's really cool looking. It felt a little boxy at the top, but I got to tell you, with all the machining they did, this thing looks sharp. It really does. It actually looks really cool with the Gideon too. The Gideon happens to follow the same line, so that's kind of cool.
It's like we planned it.
Huh?
It's like we planned it.
It's like we planned it. No, this... I was a little concerned that this may be like a little gimmicky or something. It is not at all. This legit works. This is cool.
So are you an island boy now?
No! He's dancing. Please make it stop. Please make it stop. No, this thing's awesome, man. Yeah, this thing's great. Digging the mags too.
What mag was that?
I think that was the X-Tech. Yeah, that's the X-Tech. These X-Tech mags so far, these are nice.
So last year we reviewed the Derya DY9, imported by Rock Island Armory at the time. Kind of like a hidden gem in the world of guns.
Wait, how do you pronounce it?
Derya.
What's the correct?
I was told Derya on the phone the other day.
Is this like we say Adidas, but it's technically Adidas, and we're never going to say that. So we're just going to butcher it and call it Derya.
Yes.
Okay.
America.
Merc.
So now Derya, as what we're going to refer to it, is its own company. And so they've come out with the DY9 Island Barrel. This is a brand new gun for them. So an Island Barrel, nothing new.
No.
Really.
No.
They're not claiming to be innovative. What they're really claiming is to have a high quality gun at a really, really affordable price point.
I think we just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
What's MSRP?
MSRP? $599.
For an Island Barrel, basically Glock clone pistol.
Yes.
They're going to hurt so many feelings.
Glock 19.
Yes.
Gen 4.
Yep.
Armor cut.
For that price point.
For $599. $499 to $599 street price is what they're looking at as well.
And if you want to get aftermarket Island Barrel for a Glock, I mean, you're looking at usually around $1,000 aftermarket, pretty easy.
You could buy the Zev slide for $1,000. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Let's bring that up now too.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling the slide separate, Gen 4 compatible, Glock 19 Gen 4. I believe it'll fit on like the same size, $349 for the slide, complete.
They're gonna hurt more feelings.
They're guessing street price is gonna be like $249 to $299.
That's insane. Because honestly, if you buy an aftermarket slide, a lot of times they're gonna be just for the slide, especially something with this many like lightning cuts and that kind of thing, you're gonna pay way more than that and not get an Island Barrel.
Let's kind of dive into this. So first and foremost, we have the same magwell as we had on the original, same frame, same trigger. Now we're looking at the slide, which is the biggest change. So we've got RMR cut. This is a direct RMR cut. This is the first time they're doing that. You have green fiber optic rear sight with a proprietary front sight. It does have a T screw in it. They do not make aftermarket replacement front sights yet. It is proprietary. It is not like I assumed it was CZ cut. It's not. I've already talked to them about that. They are talking about doing fiber optic. Fiber optic with the ports in the front, I don't agree with, but they are talking about doing separate sights for the front. If you'd like, we've got lightning cuts here, and then I don't know what to call these rear because they're not cut through, but they're
dirt and crud in the back end of that.
Island Barrel in the top with those 4 ports. Really good recoil reduction. You've got some cuts here as well for lightning on the top of the slide. It looks really good. They've got a really cool design. It matches perfectly with this Gideon optic that we have on top of it. Yeah, 5 out of 5 for looks.
Yeah, that's not a score, but yeah, we're doing it. But again, let's do it. Let's jump straight into it. So build quality.
Build quality, I'm going to give it a 5. The gun seems well built. The gun feels good in the hand. That, just like the original, the magwell pulls your hand up. Overall, 5 stars for build quality. So one thing that I will complain about a little bit about the build quality, even though it is a 5-star, is how tight this optics cut is. It was almost a pain in the butt to get the optic on, which I complained about because it was hard to get the optic on and pull it off. But once we tightened it down, it like didn't seem like it wanted to fit. We tightened it down. This thing is solidly on here.
Yeah, I would honestly lean the other way. I appreciate the fact that it is that tight. Now, it's so tight that you might run into a little bit of tolerance stacking depending on the optics that you're using. I mean, I was a little worried when we first did it, but as soon as we cranked it down, it sucked down and seated fine. So if I have a choice, I'm going to want my optic to be a little bit tighter than loose. But yeah, that's something to consider.
And it does sit low. Now, I don't know what they're doing. I want to bring this up with this optic cut real quick. I don't know what they're doing. We did not put a short screw in this,
Yeah,
which you normally have to do with a Glock to
right.
keep the reliability going.
Yeah, if you use a screw that's too long, it'll hit the plunger, and then you won't get proper ejection. That's just a Glock thing. It's a rite of passage to figure that one out. And usually you have to grind down the right screw a little bit or find a shorter one, and we didn't.
So I don't know if our screw is just short enough or they did something different. So I'm going to give them a little bump for that.
I'll give them benefit of doubt. Yeah, definitely. So for build quality, I'm also going to give this a 5. Them being a newer company, sometimes you'll see things that might be a little bit rough around the edges. That is not the case here. The machining on this is really, really good. I appreciate the fact that they've done a lot of extra machine work, so it looks great. The other cool thing is, like, the lightning cuts, not only are they shaving some weight, but they also did their design and they work easy for press checks as well. Same with the rear. So I just wanted to bring that up. But yeah, super solid. Not a lot of flex, between the slide and the frame. This thing's kind of spot on.
So next we have is reliability. Reliability is a 5. This thing ate everything we put into it. We put about 400 rounds through it really quickly. The gun is reliable.
I'm also going to give it a 5. I will say we did have one round that it had a solid primer strike. It didn't go off. We loaded it back in and it fired. So that's 100% ammo. To your point, everything we gave this thing, it ate up. We didn't have any issues. Yeah, in terms of reliability, I have no questions at all about this gun.
Next we have is feel, and feel is a 5. This frame looks like it doesn't work. Like the grip texture is in like weird. It's not very aggressive. It's kind of smooth on the top, but the frame just works really well. That also has to go to felt recoil on this. Now, this being a ported slide, it does reduce it about 25% is what they're saying. The other thing, like Kurt mentioned earlier, the slide serrations are deep enough to do press checks in the front and rack in the rear. You do have an extended slide release here. Overall, I think this gun is a solid 5 for feel, just like the original.
I'm also going to give this a resounding 5. To your point, and I'm usually really a stickler when it comes to grip texture, and it doesn't have much, which is weird, but I got to tell you, and we were shooting it out in the desert. It was hot. Our hands were sweaty. It wasn't an issue. I will say that. And I think a lot of it also just comes down to the shape. Now, the magwell, which we talked about before, it's a little funky. We'll get to that later, but it does drive your hand up, which I think is really good. It's got these cuts here, which they're not just for looks. They actually work. It does have a bit of a gas pedal there, which is nice as well. Now, let's talk about recoil. I've shot a ton of comped and ported guns, and I've shot Island barrels as well. And I'm going to be honest, I was wondering before we shot this if some of this was just kind of for looks and just to do something different. This is not the case. That claim that they have that it reduces recoil by 25%, I would say is definitely true. The other interesting thing about this is, and I think that this is really what this Island barrel is doing, is a lot of times when you have something like Glock 19, it can be snappy. This thing doesn't. It pushes more than it kind of snaps, which I think is huge. You get kind of more of that almost 1911 kind of thing going. Yeah, I have not shot a 19 that has not only this low recoil, but also there's no snappiness to this thing at all. They did an amazing job on this.
Now, Kurt, let's talk about when we put that slide on your Gen 4 NT.
Yep. So that is the great thing. You can swap them, which I think is really awesome. And I love the fact that they're selling an aftermarket. That's really cool. I was figuring that because of that lack of grip texture, I was like, oh man, when I put this slide on my Glock frame, this thing's going to be great. I have to tell you, the shape of this is a little bit different and it matters. And this recoils less than my Gucci'd out Glock.
Now, Kurt, what's on your Gucci'd out Glock?
Yeah, so yeah, it's comped. I had to do quite a bit. It's got a reduced recoil spring. So the felt recoil on that is really low. This is better, quite a bit better. It really is. This thing's amazing.
So next we have his factory options. Factory options, I'm going to have to give it a 3. Okay. That sounds mean, but seeing that they only have the original gun and now the Island Barrel, I don't think there's a lot of factory options, even though this comes Gucci'd out, really. I think that's cool, but I'm going to lean towards more of it that it's a 3.
I'm going to give it a 4.5. And a lot of this, honestly, is some personal preference, and we'll see kind of where it ends up. I don't prefer the fiber optic rear, and I will say that because of the way it is now, their optics cut is low, which is nice, but you can't co-witness with those sights. That's not that big of a deal. The front sight, it's proprietary and it's really small. And if something happens there, then that might be tricky to get a new one. We'll see, and I'm sure that they'll have them available. Let's talk about the magwell again, just because, you know, if you didn't see the last video, it is a plastic flared magwell, which is nice. However, they do have proprietary mags, and they sit really nice and flush, but if you try and use stock Glock 19 mags, they don't work. And like we mentioned before, you can use Glock 17 mags. Those work fine. Yep.
I have one right there.
There we go. Those work great. So you're good there. But
X-Tac,
they fit.
Now, talking to Derya, not all Glock 19 mags will fit perfectly. If you have a metal base plate or a mag extension, it will
It'll get hung up. Yeah. And the problem is it's so close. And we actually talked to them. We're like, guys, come on. You were right there, and they know it. And I think they're going to try and do something.
There's going to be some aftermarket stuff that's going to come out for this for them from the company. So I know that in our original video, we dinged them for that.
Yeah.
They do work. The Glock 19 mags do fit. Just like that is, you can see where my hand is just smacking here and see how low they fit. Now 17 mags work fine, and you can remove the base plate, but it doesn't sit flush. So they will hang out slightly because of the way this back strap is designed.
Right.
So next we have is Aftermarket. And Aftermarket, this is hard. I'm going to give it a 5 because it is Glock compatible, but technically this is the Aftermarket in a complete gun.
Right.
It's hard because it's an Island Barrel. They're selling the size Aftermarket, but it does come with the extended slide release. But since it is Glock-pattern, Glock triggers, Glock plungers, Glock marine cups, if you want to put that in. So being that it's Glock compatible, it technically has to be a 5, right?
I'm going to give it a 4 because you're right. And at its core, most of this is basically going to be on that Glock platform. But you're going to have a proprietary front sight. I don't think that standard mag releases are going to work.
Right.
You're going to have to get those from them. But if you want to do trigger, the fact that it's got an RMR cut, that's great. It looks like the rear is just going to be standard Glock sights. So there's that. It's a little bit of a bummer because you're going to buy a set and just have to kind of just chuck the front because there's nothing else you can do, right? So yeah, so at its core, most of this is going to be aftermarket compatible, but there is some proprietary parts on here that you just have to keep in mind, but that's okay.
Next we have is X Factor, and that's that wow factor. An X Factor for me is a 5, a resounding 5. Now, it's an Island Barrel. It's an Island Barrel Glock that's under $500 or around $500. You can't touch these for under like $1,200, $1,300. You're getting such a good gun for so little money. It's hard. That has me speechless. I'm tongue twisting. I mean, good on Derya for coming out with such a great gun and a great package with everything. And just 5 out of 5.
I'm also going to give this a resounding 5. This one was a lot of fun. And that's really the entire point of X Factor, right? Is those things that just kind of stand out. Not only have they come out with an Island Barrel, basically, you know, Glock platform gun for an amazing price, which I don't feel like I'm sacrificing anything for that price point. Like, I don't feel like they cut any corners. And again, this has one of the best recoil impulses for a Glock 19 that I've shot in a really, really long time. It is honestly probably one of the best, if not the best.
Well, we got to add something into X Factor.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt,
Yep.
let's talk about this.
Let's talk about this.
So this is the kit that it comes with.
Yep.
So you get this cool ammo can, not a box, ammo can. Inside of it, you get a nice soft bag.
Mm-hmm.
Inside the soft bag, you get extra back straps and the wrench for the screws.
Yep.
You also
for the
get,
optics plate. Yeah.
Yeah. You also get a cleaning rod and a cleaning brush.
Mm-hmm.
But Kurt, there's something they did that we always ask for.
Mm-hmm.
What is that, Kurt?
So they did it. They finally did it. They did what we've always asked for. It comes with 3 mags. 3 mags. That's awesome. Now, again, they are their proprietary mags, but that's okay. Thank you. And they're good mags. You know, they're not just straight polymer. They're actually like, you know, metal lined. These are really good mags. This is awesome.
So I talked to the guy over there, Dustin. Hi, Dustin, because I know he watches this. So this is an island. As you notice on the front, it says Island Kit.
Yeah.
So the whole idea behind this, and they're playing to this. If you were stranded on an island, how many mags would you want?
At least 3. This is like some Far Cry kind of, like they just went all the way there, right? Now, my thing is like when I first saw this, I was like, wait, what? And by the way, please in the comments explain what that means. I'm missing the boat. I'm missing it. Do not check this box. I don't know what that means, but maybe somebody come. But it is. I was like, wait, what? It comes in an ammo can? I was like, that's kind of goofy. And then I'm like, wait a second. That's kind of awesome. Right? Because it is. I don't need another case. I can always use an ammo can. That's awesome.
Well, not only that, but it comes in the ammo can with the soft bag.
Yeah.
The soft bag is divided. It's got 2 sections in the divider. Again,
it's a nice bag too, honestly.
Nice bag. So you got your gun here.
Yep.
You got your 3 mags in there, and there's still room for ammo.
Yep.
At least 2 boxes, 3 boxes of ammo. I mean, you're all set. You wrap this up, zip out. You're good. Throw it in your ammo can, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Straight to the range.
Yeah.
Straight to the island.
It's waterproof. That's awesome.
Which island is it, though? So there's one other thing with X Factor I want to mention about this. This is coming out of their Jacksonville, Florida facility. So Derya was originally imported from Turkey. They are still importing things from Turkey, but the lower frame and everything is made here in the U.S. So that's really cool on them for doing that. So Kurt,
yep,
we've been singing this gun's praises. There's got to be something. There's got to be a flaw, and I've got one.
Okay.
It's the takedown lever.
Really?
It is.
Okay.
So here's my complaint with it. It has nothing to do how you disassemble the gun.
Nope.
At all. The takedown lever is metal.
Mm-hmm.
When you fire this a ton, it gets hot.
It does.
Like really hot. I burnt myself twice. Kurt's going to call me a little girl, but I did. I burnt myself twice on it, and that's my only complaint on this gun. It's a complaint. You got to have one thing wrong with it.
Did you have soft, supple hands?
Maybe. You're the one who made me shoot 200 rounds at 6.5 Creedmoor before we shot this.
Well, I didn't have a problem.
Yeah, because your shoulder wasn't bruised.
What's that got to do with your little baby hands?
But that is my only complaint about the gun, is that that is metal. It is the heat sink point. It does get very hot. You didn't notice it.
No.
I did. And
I put aftermarket metal takedown levers in Glocks before. And I will say, she did get warm. Now, it was a hot day too, and we were shooting it fast. So yeah, it got hot, but I don't know.
That's my only complaint.
Yeah, my only complaint it's still this magwell. And again, I know they're going to fix that, so that's cool. The rear sights aren't my personal preference, but again, that's
What, you don't want to pull out a Sharpie?
no. Really? Who would do that? The fact that you can get an Island Barrel, basically G19 at this price point is ridiculous. And they didn't cut any corners. They really didn't. They could have phoned it in a little bit and not done as many slide cuts and that kind of thing. This thing looks awesome. It shoots great. Again, the grip texture isn't great, but it's also not a problem. So yeah, man, this thing's a home run.
Here's also what I want to say. You brought that up. In a world of black guns, they're everywhere.
Yep.
They're all black. This in a showroom floor with good lighting on it.
Oh,
that stands out.
It really does.
And it's well worth it. Now, Kurt, here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a buyer of the DY9 Island? Stop it. But I'm an island.
Stop it. Please stop it.
Are you a buyer?
We just lost like 10 subscribers. No, I'm 100% a buyer. This thing is awesome. And again, it all really comes down to the recoil impulse on this. This thing doesn't move. And not only does it not move, the recoil that it has is soft and not snappy at all. And I don't know how they did it. The other thing we can talk about a little bit, it's the same trigger as before. It's got a bit extra take up there. It's not bad, but the break is crisp. The reset's short. It's all good. Like it's a little bit better than stock Glock trigger. There's not grittiness too. I'll say that. There's no grittiness. So Derya kind of came out of nowhere, and color me super impressed with everything they've come out with so far. Check them out. Definitely check one of these out and pick one up. All right, John, so how about you? Are you a buyer?
100%, 110%. So I bought the original DY9. With that, we took a shot in the dark on that.
Mm-hmm.
And it top gun.
Yeah.
One of the best guns that you can get for $249, $100, $199.
And I'll say, going into that, we were
iffy.
Yeah, we were definitely iffy. I was all set to be like, yeah, I don't know, man. But it surprised the heck out of both of us.
And I'm glad I took a chance on them. Because if I didn't take a chance on it, we wouldn't have gotten this one. I am a buyer of this because at $499 street price, if you can find them for $499, that's $100 off of the $599 MSRP. You're not going to get another Island Barrel gun for that cheap. Not only that, but if I already have a Glock 19 and I want to, we all know who did buy a bunch of guns during COVID. It was a thing. If you got a Glock 19 Gen 4 laying around and you want to Gucci it out for $349, now I've got a whole new gun.
Yeah.
And I can Gucci it out. So, I mean, you're talking, you're saving $150.
Mm-hmm.
But $150, some people is a lot. But you can do both. You could either buy the slide or buy the frame.
Right.
Not every company who does things like this often does both.
Right.
This just stands out. And not only do I like this a lot, I think I want to carry this gun in the way it's set up.
Yeah, I would. I definitely would. The other thing that I really want to stress is that, you've spoken with them quite a bit. They've been really open to feedback. They've been like, no, tell me, everything in terms of they want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I appreciate the fact that they're like, no, we want to make our product better. And that's awesome, that they're willing to have that conversation. They want to have that conversation. The fact that a lot of it's, made in the US, it's a great gun. I don't know how you go wrong.
And now that they have a U.S. facility, I know that's a big complaint when guns are being imported. The guns were originally imported by Rock Island Armory. It was like the best kept secret at Rock Island Armory.
Yeah.
Now we have Derya in the U.S. They have a U.S. facility. You can get a hold of them to get stuff done. And that's another big thing when it comes to the lower end guns is, are they going to be around? Am I going to be able to get customer service?
Right.
They're going to be here for a while. And I think this is the tipping point of them hurting a lot of feelings in the industry.
Yeah.
Is really coming out with something that stands out, that's different, and at a price point that you can't argue in.
Yeah. Get one now before they come to their senses.
I mean, just think about it. You could either get a stock Glock 19,
Yeah,
or this.
yeah, I would get this all day long. I really would. I have no questions or concerns about this thing at all, and I would carry it. We got some people to thank. First of all, let's thank Click Click Bang. You can find them on Instagram at clickclickbang1, and it's CLIK. So keep that in mind. They're great friends of the channel, and they help us out a ton.
Next, we have to thank is Global Ordnance for providing all the ammo for all these reviews. Go check them out.
Also check out TCRT. Great self-healing rubber targets, super high round counts you can put through them. We're using them for every review that we're doing, and you can use coupon code FLR10 to get a discount.
We also have to thank X-Tech. Even though this gun came with 3 mags, X-Tech provided us more magazines to do with this, so we got about 4 or 5 more magazines from them. So again, X-Tech mags, go check them out. Really good, reliable mags.
Yeah, they were great. Like, no issues whatsoever. And I know sometimes, you know, it's can be a little tricky when you're trying out new Glock mags. They were amazing.
I really like the bright yellow followers on them.
Do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you think of this, what you would change, what you would keep the same, and what you plan on doing.
And if you don't, I hope your fiber optic breaks. Or you just put black Sharpie over it. Put black Sharpie on it.
All right, on that note, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.